would not be here right now talking to you this very day at 10:47 p.m. on the 9th of May 2016. I would not be here sending this message to the world, how important it is. That's why, if, for instance, this teacher did what he did, this indiscriminate action to an Asian student, he would have committed suicide, for sure. Because honor in Asian culture is fundamental. And if honor is breached, such as the act that was made by Tony Barton, that Asian person would have committed suicide that very day when he gave him that 0. I myself, I believe in my pride as well. We all don't want our self-pride to be destroyed. No one would react very well if a teacher gave you a 0 on your assessment, especially if he hasn't really assessed it. He just flicked through the pages and just decided to be an asshole, an indiscriminate person, and put a 0. So that's why I speak before you, because I know that I have a lot of moral ethics, have a lot of principles. I know life, I know the way the world works, and I'm a very educated person as well. So I studied Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology at Swinburne University of Technology. And at the moment, after that incident that I had with the teacher, because I confronted him after, because it took me a long time to get back on track again. 2014, I was just trying to get back into the studies. Actually, no, 2015 actually I went back to study again, because 2014 I was still not psychologically stable because of that indiscriminate act of my professor. He should not be in his position that he is today, because that action could ultimately kill someone. So I speak on behalf of all the students who are in the accessibility program of Swinburne University of Technology. I speak on behalf of all of them that this form of discrimination should never occur, should never repeat ever again, because it is not ethical, it is not humane. We are humans, we have feelings. Can you imagine if someone did something like that to you, the way he did to me? After that, I said to him how much it affected me and how I was in hospital for the consequence of his actions, that I took a long time to get back into my passion, to gain my confidence, my inner strength once again. After that, he apologized. He said, "Oh, sorry," but he didn't mean it. He just said, "Oh, sorry." But I said, "But say sorry. Say like you mean it." And he said, like, "Oh, yeah, sorry." But he doesn't mean it at all. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any feelings. He doesn't have any consideration of the integrity of the other person. So that's why I speak now, because I think that in society, people like them should not be given a position at work at all. Not because they have a PhD that they should be given the position, because he needs to have moral ethics as well. He is not a good person. He is a bad person, and yet he has the position that he has today. That's why I don't understand how the system is so corrupted that they allow people like him, so uneducated, to be in that position. I taught him a lesson, apparently. He is 80 years old, I am 29, and I have more wisdom than what he does. In his entire lifetime, I have more wisdom than what he does. And I have much more knowledge about life and how to treat others. Humanitarian skills come natural to me because I am a humane person. Hence, I do not want to discriminate with anyone. But if the world discriminates with me, I stand up for my rights. Hence, I stood up to him and I told him that the university is corrupted, that it is not moral, that it is unjustified that he did, that I could have killed myself, that he should not get away with that, that not because he has PhD and he has a position as a lecturer that he can treat the students like garbage, like they don't matter. We are just as significant as he is. So therefore I speak before you because I wanted to deliver a message to say that people like this should not get away with such an offense. It is a discrimination, an offense to my moral ethics, to my moral body, to my health, to my mental health, because it is said that psychological damage is the most damaging poison than anything else, more than physical damage. Psychological damage is much more significant than anything else in the world. That's why, for instance, in the army, they implement the psychological trauma, such as not being able to sleep. They keep them awake all night. And that is a psychological trauma that they put in people who are in the army. So this form of torture that he implemented on my mind is still manifesting right now in my mind. And I believe that this should never happen to anyone. In fact, I would like to take this further and take it to the superiors and make him realize that what he did was inappropriate and therefore become sacked of his position, because he should not have the liberty to teach for what he did to me. I will never forgive what he did to me until he gets what he deserves, because he does not merit the position that he has today, because what he did could have ultimately killed someone. And then what could have happened to him? He would have had to live with that for the rest of his life, that because of his indiscriminate action, someone could have killed themselves. And I know, because in Asian culture, the sense of integrity is important. They need to feel like they need to have the sense of, they need to feel proud. If the very essence of proudness is destroyed, they will ultimately kill themselves. The pride is very important. If pride is destroyed, they will destroy themselves, because they cannot live themselves like a failure. Hence, now I speak now because the university is corrupted, Swinburne University of Technology, because what I have noticed now is that after I made that speech and I made that scene where I started to discuss, where I started to tell him about how indiscriminate his act was, the university altered my score, and I said to them that they need to reassess my lab report because it was only 60%. I said, no, that can't be right, because I put an enormous amount of effort, I put an enormous amount of energy into that, so therefore it should have a higher mark. And after that, after I made that scene, after I spoke my mind, all my marks, my exam for the university, 80%. Before then, I was getting high marks in everything. All of the quizzes, the online quizzes, have been close to 100%, 90%, 95%, 100%, all very high scores. So that's why it seemed illogical that I get such a low score in my biochemistry lab prac, because in my laboratory practical reports last year in microbiology, in microbes in the environment, or the microbes in the environment, I got distinctions in all of my laboratory reports. And yet in this one, in biochemistry, only 60, just a measly pass. 50% is the minimum amount to pass. So, and I found that it was indiscriminate, because I have a lot of knowledge, and I know myself, and I know I have a lot of knowledge, so therefore I should be getting at least 80% in all of my assessments. And therefore now, they changed the score, and now I got 80%. From 60 changed to 80%, reassessed. Then I did the biochemistry exam and I got 80%. Now all of my assessments are in the 80% range. So there you go. There you can see that the university is corrupted because they do not have, they discriminate against people who are in the accessibility system. They think that because they are in accessibility, they cannot achieve, they cannot be high achievers, they cannot excel in life, they cannot get high distinctions or distinctions in their assessments, that they don't have the mental capacity to reach such a score, such a mark. So therefore I proved them wrong, and now I am getting the marks that I ultimately deserve, and now I feel content. But see, that is the way the system is. If you do not fight for your rights, who will? And it seems as though even the accessibility is limited because it doesn't even do very much, because if I didn't stand up for myself and say I need more time to write my reports, he would have never given me the opportunity to write the reports. So that's why I now can do my reports within the time frame that I can do. So for instance, now I said to him, I want to hand it in when I can hand it in. That's it. And you have to adapt to my standards, to my way of my mind, the way my mind works. And as you can see, I can excel just as good as anyone else, but all I just need is more time. The system needs to be more flexible and give me more time, and I can be just as competent as anyone else. So therefore, I don't have a disability, I have an ability, a significant ability. So hence my mind is so gifted. I feel blessed to have the mind that I have, because thanks to my mind I will make a change to this universe. I will make a change to this system, because the universe does not comply with people like ourselves, and therefore this speech will make that difference, will make the system comply to our needs, because we are just as significant, just as important as anyone else. So therefore I emphasize that all these policymakers should get together and change the referendum, change it once and for all, and make the system just for people like ourselves, because then the world will be a much better place to live in. The world will be fair for everyone, because fairness creates a better nation. And I believe even this country that is fair is still not fair enough for people like ourselves. There is still a flaw existing in this very system. So it's not really the lucky country, it's more like the unlucky country for people with different mental constructs, different chemical constructs in their body, different neural networks. So that's why this speech is going to make a difference, because that's why I am alive, that's why we are all have a purpose, and my purpose is this, is to make this change once and for all, before more innocent lives are lost. Because right now as I speak, someone who has psychosis right now, or schizophrenia or bipolar, whatever illness it may be, they are now committing suicide because the general population, society, does not understand them and does not accept them for the way they are. This is Alexander de Ramirez, signing off.